Hello, Magic players. Welcome you to episode number 100 of the Brewers Tavern. Hey, Charles, how are you?
Hey, good to see you again. And finally, nice to get to episode 100. Mitja and I have something very special for the episode. Like we like to do every 25 episodes, do something a little bit different than us just brewing. And today we certainly have something really cool. So for episode 100, we're going to play a rematch of the finals of the very first 1993-1994 tournament. And it took place Easter weekend in 2008. So this was the year before the first NewCon, which was more of a casual hangout. The first kind of official one was NewCon 2, but this is going to be the very first tournament ever for Old School. And there were only 4 players. Everyone played each other, and then there was a top 2. And the finals was Magnus and Arvid. And the 2 decks are super interesting to look at. We'll just note that Mazavith was restricted in Swedish back then. And we're super excited to play it. I'm going to play Arvid's deck. Mitja's going to play Magnus's deck.
100%.
And we will just give you the answer of who won, because that will be maybe different, maybe the same today. But Arvid won the match 3-1. And so these 2 decks, all the old school tournaments that were played, it all started with this match. So we're super happy to play it. I have a mono blue list. Mitja, you want to say what Magnus played?
Yeah, he was on White Weenie. What a cool deck. I mean, I played 2 different versions so far in the Brewers Tavern, so I'm kind of used to the deck. To be fair, I think the list is pretty solid, and if you want, we can go to the deck pictures and talk
Yeah,
a little bit
yeah.
about it.
The one thing I really love about these lists is you'll see deck building card availability issue that neither the players had every single card. So when you look for where's the Black Lotus, you might see that it might be there, might not be there. So this was the kind of the beginning of Old School, where players were slowly collecting cards. So really interesting to see what cards are in there, what cards are not in there. And I think let's start with looking at yours / Magnus's list, and then we'll do the same thing with mine / Arvid's
Yes.
list.
So here we are. This is my list. As I said, it's mono white. One fun fact with that list, um, as you might have noticed, some of the cards are bordered where they should be black bordered. I bought those cards from Magnus, and I begged him to rubber. I mean, he rubbered them, and I begged him to sign it and alter it a bit, like the preachers, the small book, and one of the land taxes. And he told me that these are White Weenie cards he played back in the day, so these guys might have been there when this when the first when the original final happened. Yeah, we also have some new cards with us, new for the Brewers Tavern at least. The Summit Healer, it's from the Alpha set. It's colorless white, 1/1, and you can tap him to prevent 1 damage, which is quite cool. And the Circle of Protection black, but I'm not telling you what this guy does. For the main board, as you might have noticed, there is no Black Lotus, but therefore we have 3 Armageddons and a lot of super good white creatures. I think the list is a pretty solid white weenie, and I think this list is also good enough to participate in tournaments nowadays. There might be some smaller changes, but as you all know, for the special episodes, we never change any decks. We go with whatever the players build and play that. So yeah, this is why you see here the super original Magnus list for White Weenie. Um, the deck is pretty consistent, especially with the land tax and the small book. It gives you so much outs and good draws after a short period of time. I mean, when the land tax is resolved and triggered for the first time, you remove so many planes from your deck, which you probably can discard in the small book and give you better draws. And at some point, you only have creatures or removal in the deck, which is pretty good. Um, yeah, for the sideboard, Dust to Dust, solid card, which sees also play nowadays. Circle of Protection red, 3 times is super good as well. More Sarahs feels also super good. Um, Yeah, but besides that, I think the list, nothing more to say about that list. Maybe for nowadays you would cut the mace of it in the main board and move it to the sideboard for one circle of protection red and try to add at least a Lotus or cut a planes for a Lotus just to be a little bit faster. But I think the list is pretty good.
I
So
don't. Do we
how
have? I don't. I haven't played them. Have you played the Thunder Rolls before, or the Banana Shiro?
Yeah,
Have you
yeah,
played those, or are those?
they appeared definitely in one or two episodes when I was on White Weenie because I mean, for sure in the second version, where it should be around between 25 and 50, or it was in the first 25. No, it must be between 25 and 50 because the first 25 review special was with Barth, and he said, your white weenie list is not a white weenie. You could change that with Benalish Heroes and Tundra Wolves. So I
Okay.
did, because I also ran a white weenie list with Claries of the Holy Nimbus. I remember
All
that.
right. Well,
And no,
let's take a look at Arvid's list, and then we'll get to the Brewers Tavern.
yes, and here we are. Tell us a little bit about your list.
Okay, so the list looks super cool. The first card that I think we'll notice that is for sure new in the Brewers Tavern is in the bottom left is Flood, which is 1 blue to cast, and it's an enchantment. And then for 2 blue, you could tap any non-flying creature. So it's pretty cool. So that would be a great card if you were playing just Zams. That would probably be the best card because you play that out for 2 blue. I can tap it, and you still take the damage, and you're stuck with a flooded Jazam. That will be less useful when you're playing lots of weenie creatures because tapping 2 mana to tap a weenie creature is not as good. Um, the deck has 4 spikes, which I really like. And those, I think, almost would be more useful than counter spells because you're going to be tapping out to play weenie creatures, and that I can get online faster than counter spells. So I think that's a super card. Um, so you'll notice that what cards are there, not there. Neither deck has a Chaos Orb. Neither deck has a Black Lotus. We do have 2 out of the 3 blue power, so we have an Ancestral and Time Twister. We don't have a Sapphire, but we do have 2 Felwar Stones and a Soul Ring for some ramp. Cards that I think have appeared at some point. We have the Soldier, which is a 1/4 that doesn't need to tap to attack, which is kind of cool. It's a wall. We have Clay Statue, which is a really cool card in the sideboard. That's 4 to cast, and it's a 3/1 that can regenerate for 2. That card could be super annoying for an opponent. We have a Timmy in the sideboard, which might come in handy in this match. You might imagine that was going to come in. I really love that the deck plays a playset of Boomerangs in the main and can go transformational to a little bit of a stasis deck afterwards because we have plenty of blue, and we do have the Boomerangs already. And we see 2 main deck control magics, which again would be more useful if you weren't playing weenie creatures. But those are super cool cards to have in the main. The last creature I don't know that's come into play in Brewer so far is Time Elemental. And that's a blue and 2 colorless to cast. And then for 2 blue and 2 colorless, we can bounce any permanent. So if I'm able to get that online before you're really set up, that could be a super annoying card for you. But again, to spend 4 mana to bounce a small weenie creature isn't ideal. And then the sideboard, besides the stasis, Energy Flux is a super good card, especially because blue doesn't have a way to remove enchantments, or artifacts. So that's a super great card. And we finished the playset of Time Elementals. So if your opponent's spending high mana cost to cast permanents, that could be a way to fight that. Blue Blast, which is always great. In case you're playing a deck that's playing Sarah Angels, an extra Psionic Blast is great. And we said we have a couple robots and a Timmy on the sideboard. So this deck was the winning list, 1-3-1 against your White Weenie. Hopefully I can match that today. That would be great. But let's see how this rematch goes. And I'd say let's go to the Brewers Tavern and find out.
Exactly. And give me 1 second. Here we are. Hi. So, you're on even as always, I guess? number 1. 1 is not even, so I want to start.
All right. Let's have some fun.
Shuffle it up real quick. And let's see. 1, 2, 3.
All right. Pile 2.
Pile number 1 for you.
Okay.
I would... I will try that.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try it too.
Go.
Factory, your turn.
Factory. Soldering. Attack.
Okay.
Your turn.
Your turn. The factory.
Draw. Attack.
Okay. 16.
Tundra Wolves. Your turn.
So I'm gonna get something different.
Okay. Fair.
Activate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
swing for 3.
For 4. Oh no,
No.
you activate 3. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Your turn. This deck plays 20 Mistress Factors.
Attack.
13.
Your turn. Exactly 20 factories. Nice deck.
Yeah, it's a good deck. You should all try it. We'll play the soldier.
Yep.
And your turn.
Disenchant the soldier. Attack for 3.
All right, 10.
Your turn. Yep.
Your turn.
Sword the time elemental. Yeah, spell blast is good. I play a lion and attack for 3.
7.
Your turn.
How many cards do you have?
A lot. Let's see, 6, 5.
Yeah, that is a lot. Okay, we'll say pass turn.
I want to attack.
Okay.
And pass the turn.
So that's a line at your end step.
Yep.
The island.
Yep.
Another one.
Yep.
Next turn.
Hey, land. Armageddon.
We'll respond to that.
Yep. Yep. Your turn.
Okay.
How many cards do you have in hand? 2. Okay.
Draw 3.
Yes.
Your turn.
I strip your blue.
Boomerang a line.
Okay. Move to attackers. Swing.
Yep. 6.
Armageddon.
Okay.
Go.
Okay, your turn.
Oh. Attack. Pass the turn.
Hey, your turn.
Plants. Lion. Attack. Pass the turn. Whew.
All right, biggie.
That was close. Did you had a counter spell when I strip
Nope.
mined you?
Oh, I had a boomerang.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I left 2 blue mana open to draw 1, so I could still counter in case you got another Armageddon. But like, I didn't draw it in 3, so if I drew 4 or 5, I couldn't use it anyway. Most likely.
I was so screwed. So screwed.
I mean, Armageddon will do it, right? Because like, if I don't have any mana, then like you can't defend with no permanence.
Yeah. True.
How many Armageddons you play? 2?
3. 3. Just play 3.
Okay.
Yeah. I think this is also a huge key card in that matchup. Let's see.
I won.
Pile 3 for you.
We will take them all again.
Okay.
1 island's enough. You're keeping it, take it.
I keep it. Sorry. Yeah.
Can't shuffle.
This time I have 7 lands in hand. Need to keep
Yeah.
it after I was screwed so hard.
You're a weenie deck. You shouldn't need a lot of lands. 1, 2, 3.
1. I need a lot of lands to cast my Guardian Angel.
I mean, I don't think I can play without. I mean, it's just awful. Can't play without an island.
No, 100% not.
There's one. All right, go to 5.
But I mean, you can't keep a hand where you just have the information blue, and a Mishra's Factory and hoping to draw an island, even if you only run islands, right?
I mean, I had Ancestral, right? So like, I could have played. I mean, it would have worked out fine in this case, but like the top two cards are on an island. I'm completely lost.
Yeah, exactly. If you draw like instead of the island card,
then I'm screwed.
Yeah.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Number 1. Oh, and this list, the mono white one, has no factories in it.
I mean, I have one island. I guess. I mean, I can't go to 4, right? So. This might be a short game. Wait, I have to go to 5, so yep. Okay.
Yeah. So you start.
Your turn.
Draw. Penale Shiro. Go.
Your turn.
Oh. Savannah line. Attack. Your turn.
Yes.
Preacher. Attack for 3. And by the way, we had a comment under a video that I mean, I might either you mind twisted me or I mind twisted you after a demonic. Just for the viewers, we said it also on camera again. We just try to play as good as we can, also in tournament atmosphere. You know, that's why we're sometimes going for demonic mind twist instead of doing something fun. Yeah, pass the turn. Sorry that I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I just have to scoop this. I don't have any lands. It's
yeah.
I mold twice and I have 1 land. I mean, I didn't draw anything the last 3 turns. There's no catching up. Yeah, that was. Let's play another real game 1.
Okay.
This
is what I wanted to ask or wanted to know.
I mean, we played 1 real game and I just didn't have any lands. Yeah. Mold, and the third mull. It's like I have 1 island. I didn't draw anything the next 3 cards. So
that's true.
I don't think I could mold a 4 with this deck. This deck doesn't have all the power cards to be able to time twister or do anything. It's really scary to.
Even if you twister, what are you twistering into? You know what I mean?
Well, but I'm also going to time twister on turn 3, or turn 2 if I'm absolutely lucky and grab the Soul Ring, and then even that's not great against your deck.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even if you play Island. Soul Ring past the turn and I start with Savannah line and you put another land and twister then. Don't know if that is good enough, you know what I mean? Because I still have the line which can number
3.
Okay.
Alright, 3 for you.
Yeah, heard it.
Alright.
7. Interesting.
Yeah, I will take them
all. Me too. I just have lands and disenchants. But the disenchants would have been good in that case.
There are 19 islands in this deck. I have to have more than 1. 2 is good.
We were playing a fun. I mean, a friend of mine and I are playing a super funny format. It's called Pre-Modern Highlander. Like, it's Commander but just with pre-modern cards. And so too young for this series. But I had the same issue last weekend. I played 38 lands and I drew 2 at max.
Pile 2.
Pile 2. Yeah. Pile number 1 for you.
All right.
Lord, what is that?
Yeah, you're having my problem now.
You infected my deck. Why, Charles? Why?
Okay, we're gonna try this.
Okay, I go to 5.
The hand's not good I have, so don't worry about it.
I multi 5.
I won.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
I hope you have a hand. Otherwise, we're just doing a repeat of last game.
Yeah, but this
It's the other
time,
direction.
yeah, I remove those 2, and you start again.
Okay, your turn. Island pass.
Savannah line pass.
Yes, sir.
Soldering. Okay. Attack for 2.
Boomerang line.
Nah, come on. Okay.
Yes.
Your turn. All the pressure is gone. Time
Turn. I'm elemental.
Oh, wait a second. No, I can't. Sorry, I can't do that. I need to play the line and pass the turn. Okay.
Record your turn.
Attack.
18.
Your turn. 5 cards in hand.
An hour.
Yeah.
We'll bounce the line text now.
Yeah, I thought so. My turn?
And your turn. Yep.
I mean, land tax.
Yep.
Penalty Shiro. Swing.
16.
Pass the turn.
We'll bounce that. Yep, we'll bounce the line text.
Okay.
And your turn.
Draw. Lentex. Tundra Wolf. Swing for 3.
13.
Pass the turn.
And before chef.
4? Yeah, 4. But for super good ones.
Really wanted one more mana source.
I thought so. Did I see counterspell so far? But I think I can assume that mono blue runs counterspells, right?
Yeah, I don't think you've seen counter, but yeah, so far you saw Spell Blast and Power Sing.
And Boomerang, of course. But
this land text is very expensive to like. I'm bleeding here trying to get rid of it.
That is the. I mean.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. You could tax.
I can tax. What are you? Oh, you're eye-seeing. Okay, cool.
Your turn, and we'll tap your line.
Okay, lion. Oh, that's good. That's huge. 1, 2, 3.
I mean, it doesn't mean you'll be able to do it a second time, but I mean, I don't think 3 lands will drastically change it.
I draw for the turn. I just cut myself. Draw for the turn. Of course, now I'm drawing the lands. But since you tapped out...
Okay, good game. Yeah, there's no counter to that. It's your game.
The Armageddon is so good in that matchup. But so far, I don't want to make any complaints, but so far I'm asking myself how the mono blue player managed to win like a game, especially with 3 Armageddons. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you don't counter that, you just lose. I mean, there's no, you can't, because you don't have any way to remove the waning creatures.
True, that's true. Yeah. Maybe. Let's see.
Yeah, we'll go with this. Yep, Armageddon definitely won you both of those games. But I couldn't, I needed one more land so that I can actually use 4 mana to bounce something or to cast it, and then still be able to leave up a counter spell, and I just didn't draw another mana source.
The thing was, I had 2 land tags in hand, and at some point I thought, why are you not playing both? He can't bounce both of them, and then I thought, no, I really want him to tap out every turn by bouncing the land tags, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, either way is bad. And when I stopped doing that because I was bleeding 3 damage a turn, I still have to do something, right? If I don't do nothing. So casting an Icy wasn't great. And that's a very bad card. I'm spending 5 mana to be able to tap 1 line at best.
True. I mean, technically it's a removal, but, you know, it's 5 mana removal and you needed to tap out for it. And I mean, I always wait with the Armageddon till you tap out. And you need to tap out at some point.
That's the problem with this deck is you need to tap out at some point. Exactly. I mean, there's no way. Pile 1.
Pile number 1 for you too. Exactly. I think so too, because like I'm putting out pressure with smaller creatures, and even with flood at some point.
I don't have to tap out. I could just let you get me to 0.
Exactly. Yeah, and just wait.
But who would be the winner? I never tapped out in that game. I lost. Okay, I will keep.
Me too.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm keeping.
Island pass.
Draw. Lion. Oh, you got me good. Yeah.
Your turn.
Lantax. Tundra Wolves. Go.
Oh, you have a second one, okay. I think I'm going to let you draw because you don't have a choice. Okay, we'll play Factory Swing for 3.
Yeah, 17.
Your turn.
White Knight and pass the turn.
Activate factory.
Sure. So active.
Oh,
Yeah.
swing with a 3/3.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
Double block.
Okay. They have both first strike.
Yes.
Okay, yep. All right. My mistake. Your turn.
Lion. Attack for 3.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
So I'll play Ace and your turn.
My turn?
Yep.
Okay. Swing.
I'll activate factory.
Before blocks, swords to plowshare the factory.
All right. I'll gain 3. Go to 20.
Yeah.
Your line, and I'll take 3. Go to 17.
Yeah. Your turn.
Your turn.
7 ring is good. Draw. Try a white knight. And if the white knight resolves, I would go to attackers.
Boomerang your white knight, and I'll maze your line.
Okay, so you take
Take
one,
one.
and I recast the white knight, and it's your turn.
Okay.
Sorry, that looked a little bit confusing.
I'll play factory.
Yeah, factory resolves.
And 2 cards. Your turn.
4 lands. Maybe you go up to 5 at some point, or 6 even. Land tax. And I want to attack.
Okay, I will activate my factory.
Before blocks, disenchant the factory.
Okay, we'll boomerang white knight.
Yep.
Maze a line, and I'll take 3.
I tap 2 planes and play the white knight again. And
Yep.
pass the turn. No cards in hand.
Land.
Yep.
No cards. Stasis, your turn.
Yep. Draw. Attack.
Maze a line.
Yep.
And I take 2.
Yep. Your turn.
Your turn.
Swing. Your turn.
Yep.
Okay.
Your turn.
You need to pay for stasis, right? Okay. I draw. Oh, you've not seen anything. Nothing happened. Your turn.
Okay, your turn.
That was a good game plan, just to attack, keep on attacking.
White Weenie has no other game plan.
Exactly. Turn everything to right. Let's see. Yeah. Swing.
Yep.
And Armageddon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we play one more?
Yes, I think we have time for... Yeah, 100% we have time for some more. The games are pretty quick. I'm really sorry that it is a little bit leaning to my side.
I don't have any way to deal with the weenie creatures. Boomerang doesn't work. Disc is too slow. Blood is too slow. Control magic is too slow.
It also doesn't feel good to control magic a Banalish hero, right?
No, that doesn't work. Everything is just too slow. Icy is too slow.
I mean, maybe that deck wants to be played a little bit more as a stasis deck after boarding. I mean, with bouncing, instead of boomeranging my creature, you boomerang stasis once, you untap by even more tap. I have no idea.
But I don't. Yeah, but what's the win con? I mean, it's not black vice against, certainly not against you, but I don't have black vice, so how am I dealing damage? Or
yeah, Charles, I'm sorry to say that I have no idea. I really have no idea. Time Elemental is the worst attacker ever.
And that is so slow, right? I mean, I need 4 mana to bounce one creature, so it's really slow.
I mean, you can
1, 2, or 3.
Number 1. You can also bounce your stasis, but still there's no win con, as you said.
Yep. Your turn. 1.
Mulligan.
Okay, we'll try it.
Let's see.
Oh, 3.
Okay. Let's go. 7.
Oh.
7. These are good. 6. I keep that.
Okay.
I draw. Play a land. Play a Mox Pearl and Tundra Wolves. Pass the turn.
Island in your turn.
Plains. Swing with Tundra Wolves.
Yep.
Tap the Mox Pearl. Try to cast Savannah Lines.
Sure.
Okay, then I pass the turn.
Boomerang it.
Okie dokie.
An island. I'm elemental.
Yeah.
And your turn.
I play a Plains, a Savannah line, and attack for 1. The problem is, pass the turn, the problem is also that the Time Elemental can't block, right? I mean, it can, but it will never.
Take 5 damage.
Yeah.
Yep. An island.
Yeah.
Control magic or line.
I disenchant that.
Okay.
By tapping Mox and Plains.
Sure, but that line's in your hand. Oh, no, it's on the board. No,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Okay, your turn.
Draw. I swing for 3.
15.
Tap the Mox and sword your Time Elemental. And your turn.
How many cards you have?
2.
Your turn.
Stasis. I try to disenchant Stasis.
Okay.
I tap Mox Pearl, cast Banali Shiro, and swing for 3. Pass the turn. How many cards do you have in hand?
2.
2, okay.
I have 1 card in hand. Your turn.
I play a Plains. For 3 mana, I try to cast Dust to Dust. Targets my Mox, your book. And swing for 4. Pass the turn.
I have 1 card.
I draw. I try to tap 2 Plains, try to cast Crusade. Yeah.
Sorry.
Swing.
I have 4.
Pass the turn.
So I don't have an out on the deck to stay alive. I mean, there's 0 cards. I guess that's an out for 1 turn. Your turn.
I swing.
Activate factory.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we'll block your line.
Okay. So you go to 2. And I play a land and pass the turn.
Okay. Should we do one more? And we'll call it an episode. Are we at an hour?
Yeah, let's do one more. One more, and then we're good with the deck tag and everything.
Oh, do the sideboards.
Yes.
First game was an interesting one. Everything else, you just ran this deck over.
Yeah. I would love to. I will ask Magnus the next time we're talking. I ask him how maybe he remembers from 2008 how the mono blue guy won, because I would really love to know it.
I mean, you will get ahead of this deck every single time, and this deck can't catch up. Pile 2.
Pile number 1 for you. Maybe he had multiple time elementals plus stasis locks. You know what I mean? And then he just
maybe ancestral help. I haven't seen it, but
yeah. Same with my crusades. This was the first crusade in 5 games.
Yeah, we're just gonna try.
Oh, me too.
Your turn.
Go. No 1-drop.
Your turn.
White Knight, your turn.
No, your turn.
Yep. Lantex.
Yep.
Sword the time elemental. And swing for 2.
Yep.
Your turn.
We'll side blast that guy. Take 2.
Yes.
Your turn. 3 cards.
Lantex trigger. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, this is very much like the Zach Dolan match we played, because I don't know how Zach won that match, and I don't know how Arvid with this deck beat Magnus's White Weenie deck. Somehow, what I think is the less strong deck won in both of those cases.
Yeah, I mean it's just reversed, right, to the last one we played, the last special episode. 1, 2, 3. I draw. Play a land and try to cast Preacher.
Okay.
Your turn. I mean, also the chance that I can steal your factories at some point takes away your last winning option, right?
Yeah, that would be very bad. We'll boomerang your Preacher.
Yeah.
Play time elemental.
Okay, I sword the time elemental.
Okay.
You have 4 lands. I have 4 lands. I draw 3. I draw a card. Play a small book. Play another land and pass the turn.
Yeah, that guy, the Preacher is really bad. Your turn.
End of turn. I tap 2 planes. Draw and the book. Draw a card. Discard a card. Draw for the turn. Don Preacher.
Yep.
White Knight. Wait. I want to draw with the book. Pass the turn.
Okay.
Not. Hope that's okay.
Okay.
I draw end of turn. Discard a card. Draw for the turn. Untap. Play a white knight.
Okay.
Play Banalish. Attack.
Do you play a land?
No. 5 lines.
Okay.
And you
Got
take 1
50.
damage, and I pass the turn.
I'll boomerang your preacher.
Okay. Okay.
Your turn.
I try to draw a card end of turn. I discard a card. Untap. Draw. I strip one of your untapped blue. And then I try to cast Armageddon. And attack. At the point where I tapped out for the white knight, did you have the counter spell in hand for the white knight?
Yeah, well, I had a what do you call it? Force spike, so I would have countered that. But when you mixed up the order, then I couldn't counter.
So let's see. Give me a second. Sorting out. Need to count the Sarahs because I think I bought it in 1 Sarah. Sure, I took those in. Here we go. Yeah, took in 1 Sarah.
How many cards?
Oh, lucky me that you never saw the Prodigal Sorcerer.
7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I have to look at the deck photo. What else should I take out?
Yeah, if you want, I can start.
Yeah, go for it.
So, the thing is, I thought I took out 2 City in the Bottle because I've seen 0 Arabian Nights cards, and the Maze of it because I thought I have enough creature removal, especially when I take in Dust to Dusts, which will deal with your other artifacts, so I can save my disenchants for either factories. And I mean, I saw the deck list before, but I would have assumed that a mono blue list or a blue list has a stasis at least somewhere. So I thought, okay, I can save my disenchants for factories and for stasis, and I have the Dust to Dust to deal mana efficient with stuff like Icy. And I mean, I saw the Soldier and the Icy, so I thought there are enough targets for 2 Dust to Dusts, and that's why I took out the City in a Bottle. I took out the Maze of it because, as I said, I think I have enough removal for the creatures I've seen, and you only had Time Elemental, which cannot attack, and you had factories, and I thought Swords and Disenchants are more than enough to deal with that. I took in 1 Sarah because if you're not having any bounce, the Sarah is quite good against the Stasis because it's not getting tapped. I not brought in any Circle of Protection Black for obvious reasons. No City in a Bottle, also for obvious reasons. I really thought about the other Dust to Dust, so instead of the Sarah bringing in another Dust to Dust, but I thought that you will not have that many artifacts, especially I've not seen that many. So my opinion was Dust to Dust is more than enough. 2 Dust to Dust is more than enough. Another Sarah Angel is just making my curve higher, and as we've seen it in the game once, I sometimes screw a little bit, so it is probably not good to bring in another Sarah. Summit Healers is, in my opinion, more important in a aggressive matchup where you want to trade creatures efficient or something like that. And I think the Summit Healers are not that good in that matchup. I mean, I can try to reduce my curve with them, but there is still for 2 mana 1/1s, and I really don't know what I will cut for those. Circle of Protection, red, is a super good card, but not in that matchup, so that's why I didn't bring it in. So this was my sideboard plan: 2 City in a Bottle for 2 dust, and 1 Mace for a Sarah. Charles, what do you do?
Okay, well, there's so many bad cards against you in the main. One of which, the disc is terrible, right? Because I have to spend 4 mana, wait a whole turn, hope it doesn't get distant. And by the time I get 4 mana out, I mean, I would have to have a Soul Ring, a Soul Ring, Felwar Stone, both of those. Like I have 2 Felwar Stones and a Soul Ring. I would need all of those in my hand to get a quick disc out. And the disc may only deal with 1 or 2 creatures, right? Because I'll have to use it and lose those fast mana. So even the disc is awful. And if I just cast it regularly on turn 4, I might not even have it by the time I have turn 5. But I left it in anyway just in case, because I can't remove multiple creatures of yours any other way, although I don't think that was good. Icy, I think, is equally terrible. I have to spend 4 mana. I'm going to get killed by the time I can get this out, and I can only stop a Lion or a White Knight at best. The book is equally as terrible by the time I get this out. Tapping completely out to draw 1 card, where I wouldn't be able to cast a card, and I'll be taking damage that turn is awful. Felwar Stone, this is awful in this matchup. I don't have time to reshuffle the library. Once these artifacts are gone, and the disc is not great, as we spoke about, the transmute is terrible. I don't have many artifacts to transmute, and getting these artifacts that I'm taking out are even slower with transmute. Flood, I left 1 in. I took 1 out. Flood is not good against a white weenie, so to have to tie up 2 islands to tap 1 creature, I'm not going to be able to tap all of them. I don't have enough islands, so I'm going to be leaking damage, so this is definitely not good as a 2-of. I left 1 in. Counterspell is actually not really great against you. Yes, it's great for Armageddon, but a playset, look, you're getting cards out by the time I can counter, and I'm going to be. I actually think the Force Spike is almost better in this match. And again, Recall is too slow. To have to lose 1 card to spend 3 mana to be able to cast on the next turn isn't good. And what am I going to have in the graveyard that's going to help me? Not really great. So there was a lot of cards I wanted to take out that was not good against you. Continue, I thought would be great. If you don't have a Crusade out, this might slow you down. I never saw it. The 2 artifacts are very good. One that regenerates and one that acts as a 1/4 wall. I did bring in the other 2 time elementals. You do have swords. And the only game that was actually competitive in this episode was game 1, and that was because of the time elementals. Armageddon me, and then these become absolutely useless. By the time I do anything with this, I'm long dead. And I did bring in 2 stasis to try to slow you down, but there's not really a plan for it. It would have to be perfect to be able to keep you under stasis, have enough islands, and then save 2 to boomerang it would be the only way I could buy time and to be able to draw extra cards, but I didn't see a better plan against your deck. So that's...
Sorry, yeah, with the stasis, you need at least time elemental out, plus another 4 mana to activate it, plus 2 mana to cast stasis, and you need to hope that I tapped out in the turn before, right?
It really would be 1 in a million to be able to get this, but I don't have another plan. These cards are so terrible against you. You're not playing red. I have 2 Cyblasts I left in, but spending 3 mana and taking 2 damage to get rid of a weenie creature isn't good. If you had Sarah's, I do have a Maze and 2 Sonic Blast, but I wasn't losing games to Sarah's, so I thought that 2 in the main was more than enough. You're not artifact heavy, and I wasn't going to bring in 4 stasis. There just wasn't enough of a plan for that, so I brought in 2. So that was the plan. The first game was really neat. I'm not actually sure how this deck won 3-1 against your White Weenie, Magnus's White Weenie, but maybe we get an answer to that. Still, these historical matches are really, really interesting to play. Really cool to see what the deck list looked like when Old School was beginning. So this was the very first tournament, and there's only 4 players. So just cool to see how this format started. Hopefully it was interesting to see the decks. Sorry that this episode might not have been as competitive on my end. I did the best I can with this, but hopefully it was interesting to see the historical matches. And we will have another historical match in episode 125, but really special to get to episode 100. And we look forward to getting to episode 200 at this point. Mitja, thank you so much. Hope everyone enjoyed and subscribes. And we'll see you in episode 101 soon.
See you next time. Bye-bye.